3, 2. All right. Welcome back.
All
I need to
right.
do something where I would just start laughing so energy would be up. Welcome back to Sacred Bubble. I'm not going to pretend like that shit's not like, it's not just second nature to say it just yet. We have been taking our time with all of this. And today feels like a slow-paced day. Lots been going on energetically. We're in Scorpio season now. We can talk if you want, like if I start getting on a roll astrologically, like we can
Just
pull
talk.
from there.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
say the things you want to
Yeah,
say.
so actually this is great. We can start with this because my energy's been like crazy. Last week was nuts for both of us. I think other people too, but like they're not here, so just relate if you
We're
can.
not talking about them.
Just
Everyone
relate.
else.
Yeah. But also, like, from my experience with the people I've been around, there's been a lot happening, like, through other people. And so a lot happened last week, even synchronistically, but, like, emotionally, energetically, physically, spiritually, everything. But it was a lot of emotion and energy-wise.
Mm.
Wednesday was, like, a whole year within itself or something. And I was, like, a few days later and I didn't realize I was PMSing as well. I was like, what is going on? And I knew there was a lot of stuff going on, but I haven't been checking the astrology like I was. I'm kind of leaning more into the feeling than checking and just doing it in another way. And I was like, oh, Neptune retrograded and it's in Pisces, even though when it moves forward again, it's going to finally set itself into Aries. So Neptune retrograde, we've been having this huge like water pyramid, which is like so much in water right now, which
Mhm.
hence the emotions and like the parts of our chart that it's connecting to, perhaps.
Mhm.
Um, what's today, the 27th? I don't think anything specific is shifting today. I can also look at that, but we're in Scorpio season. Mercury, Mars are in Scorpio. Um, and it just feels like that. Like there's so much all over the place and like a lack of structure in some kind of way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel and then I want to ask you a question, but I feel especially after this like new moon, I just we've both been like really talking about this and this has been like a gradual opening, I feel, but just like the heart opening and how vulnerable and sensitive that feels to like keep that open and picking up everybody else's energy along with trying to navigate your own and trying to distinguish what is mine and what's not, but still welcoming all the feelings. It, trying to navigate in chaotic internal, I don't know what it is, pressure. Um But what does it mean for Neptune to be in retrograde?
You pulling up something while I
Okay.
was listening to you. Okay, we'll go direct in December. So we're gonna have a good solid month with Neptune retrograde. So Neptune's been retrograde. Sorry, I just entered Pisces. That's what I felt. I feel
Ah,
it's so crazy because when I feel Neptune so much when it shifts, it's the only planet I have accurately sensed. I'm like, what the fuck happened today? I'm like, oh, I always look and it's like something with Neptune. It's very like I don't have any other pattern where I felt that extremity and like that same pattern over and over again. So we've been in a Neptune retrograde, but it just entered Pisces, and that's something else I feel, which is so interesting. And I'm wondering at this point, and you can even chime in whether or not you know astrology. It's just like energetically, is like
yeah.
I have literally zero Pisces in my chart. However, there's still like my 11th house is Pisces. There's just nothing in it. But I do have a stellium and Virgo sitting across from it. It's just that I sense it so much, but is it because I feel it because it's not in my chart? It's not normal. It's not natural to me, perhaps. Like, But how like crazy is that? Because I sense it so strongly. It was also one of my um deceased family member's birthday that same day. But it was just so intense, and I was like, okay, so Neptune retrograde is so Neptune's like the dream, it's escapism, it's kind of confusion. It's like if you
Oh,
know
interesting.
Pisces or people with strong Pisces placements, they have like as they grow, they have this tendency to, well, they have to learn like they're the elder, they're the last sign. So they have to learn to be okay with kind of like anything. They boundaries are really important. So the lack of boundaries for them, I would say Pisces, Virgo, and then a few other signs are the codependent signs.
Mm.
We've been in and out of, we've been in, Neptune was in Pisces for, I don't know, like 14, 15 years. Oh, sorry about that. And so Neptune's like, or 8 years. I'm sorry. I'm not getting the years correctly, but Neptune's been in Pisces for such a long time. Many, many years, almost, if not a decade. And it moved into Aries this year, so it changed for the first time in a very, very long time, which actually makes me think of you know who. Um,
No.
and it was in Aries this year for a little bit, and then it went back into Pisces. So this will be the last time Pisces Neptune will be hanging out in Pisces for a very, very, very long time, which is home there. So ethereal, um, very ethereal, very dream, very lots of confusion, boundaries needing to draw the line. They're the salt water, so like very healing energy, of course, regardless of how good or bad they act externally, their energy tends to be healing in general. It doesn't
Mm.
matter like who they are, it's just there's something about them that like pulls people towards them. Um they also yeah, they just have a hard there's a lot of emotional maturity that comes with their sign. So with Neptune retrograde in its home sign, there is an extra emphasis in these ways and like confusion, distortion, chaos, like smoke and mirrors is huge with this one as well. Um, they both rule the feet. So you might even notice more people with their like focus specifically on feet. Feet in metaphysics is moving forward. So a lot of times it kind of, in a way, the way I want to say it right now is that we're being shown where we're like disillusioned in these areas in our life in order to move forward. And in a way, I've been working through that because it's in my 11th house of community and work. And that's another area where you make money and good fortune and learning the distortions and versus reality. And we're kind of in our last like leg of learning about this
Mm.
area in our lives and where it shows up. So, yeah, do you have any other, does that make sense? Or is there anything I can clarify more?
Well, like that last part that you kind of like summed up made it clear because sometimes like when I'm listening, I'm like, okay, well, if it's ending, then like why am I if it's been here for so long, right? Like it's been 8 years or whatever you said, like then why am I feeling it so strong now? But it kind of makes sense that it's you've been going through it and now like you can be aware of it that you were going through it. And I feel like that's what's happening with me where I mean, quote unquote going through it has been like a norm
Yeah,
for me, right?
yeah,
For most people, I'm sure. Um, but like specifically, which I'd be interested in looking at like my chart because
I can look at it. I was actually going to say something because you actually sparked a
say
thing, but I
something.
can look at your chart right now because I have it here.
Yeah, because I just wonder how that reflects on me.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
just
it's
because
kind
the
of funny that we
relationships with
started
somebody.
with this because it's actually literally what we've been talking about in those areas of our lives. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, duh.
I didn't hear anything you just said. Sorry.
You didn't hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you now. You're just
Yeah.
very was yeah, I can hear you. It's just very soft. So like when you start to talk like this. When you,
Okay.
like, trail off, then it's like, "Wait, I can't hear you at all."
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Just letting you know.
You're gonna laugh at this because it's kind of like exactly what we need to hear. Um, so what you said is like the reason why it's hard, actually, I can answer that for you, is because when we're in like the last leg, we're in the latest degrees, which are the mastery degrees, so they can hit your chart and in certain ways. If they hit your chart specifically, like if you have those specific degrees in Pisces, you're going to feel it more than others 4 degrees before, 4 degrees after.
Oh,
So for
interesting.
you specifically, Neptune isn't really hanging out with any other sign right now. But it was this past year, it hung out with your Saturn a little and or no, it didn't hang out with your Saturn. No, it hasn't hung out with any of your planets in a while, but it is in your eighth house right now. And it's finishing off in your eighth house, and it will remain in your eighth house for a little bit longer and then enter your ninth house. So you mainly, Pisces has been in all the ways I've described it, and I can repeat those. In your eighth house is a death. It's taxes, investments, it's mental health, dental health. It's also employed, like who you're employed by, like the person that pays you.
Oh, interesting.
Sometimes like what they're going through as well through you, through your
Oh,
experience with them. So that is where Pisces lies in your chart. You have a little bit in the seventh house, but it's mainly your eighth house. And that's where Neptune's been hanging out for a long time.
hmm. I mean, for the past 4 years, I think there's just been huge transitions in my life, specifically moving and, like, workplace. Because I started my new job, like, 4 years ago, and I've learned a lot about working with
Sorry.
a boss in a different way, I guess. A boss that doesn't feel like a boss. So, it's, like, changed my relationship with work for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know, I'm just trying to think, like, I think sometimes it's hard for me because I don't know too deeply about planets and signs that, and I also haven't looked at it in a long time because I know I was, like, learning a little bit about it for a while, and then I've it's hard to relate to what I'm going through now, um, to, like, what my chart says, I guess. It's too many things for me to think about.
Yeah,
That's, like,
no.
the
Yeah.
simple way to put it. Because like, I always want to learn about them, but then I'm like, I feel like it's information overload, and I also don't want to I don't wanna agree to just agree, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's how a lot of people which is why they get readings.
Why they get what?
Why you get readings and why
Yeah,
like not everyone's meant to do it, right?
yeah.
Like not everyone's meant to do everything and like that's why you have me. And that's why, like I don't do what you do. It's just like that's why you have people to interpret and help you interpret. And like sometimes when you don't what I feel like is when if it doesn't hit, right? Like you may not just that just may not be hitting right now or something that whatever needs to be thought or talked about right now.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess I'm more curious about, um, because you have more of an understanding about it, like, how everything affects you.
Like like what do you mean like how like Neptune affects me or what
Whatever you were
specific?
talking about, like, Neptune, because you said, actually, I'm thinking, because I don't think I'll be able to vibe with you on this. Um, I'm thinking like, would you be able to just describe like, besides like just the chaos, like what are some of the physical things that you have like been going through in the last couple of weeks or days, or like thoughts that you've been having that maybe I can like grab from? If you want to share.
Um, well, side note too, Pluto also went direct last week too. So we had Pluto go direct after being retrograde for a while and station direct in Aquarius, which is your seventh house, my 10th house. And then so mine's like career and life changes,
Mm.
authenticity, my role that I play. Yours is like partnership, one-on-one clients, all of that jazz.
Mm.
That one might resonate a little bit more with you actually.
Yeah.
So because the eighth house is big. So the eighth, when I describe the eighth house and the 12th house, it's usually like a really full on conversation, or if nothing sparks, it's probably too much to talk about right now and actually
Yeah.
not integrated. I've
Yeah.
realized the eighth and the 12th house can be like that because there's physical and non-physical things, and it's just, they're the heaviest houses as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Um,
That resonates with me.
yeah, they are. And it's just, that's the truth. Like, that's for me, like, I have a lot of shit with my eighth house. So, like, it's where Sagittarius is for me. So it's
Mm.
like, it is very heavy. It's very heavy. Um, so there's a lot happening there's always a lot happening. Someone's like, I think someone made a comment like, I feel like something's always happening. Well, we're in constant motion. So yes, astrology is constantly in motion. Like it's not just gonna, it's like saying that you're only gonna feel a certain way for like ever. Like we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
So last week, or actually the 13th, Pluto went direct. My apologies. Last week we had a new moon in Libra in a very late degree, and we had Neptune go Neptune retrograde enter Pisces, and then we had the sun enter Scorpio, and then we had this huge water thing happen, and then we're going to have Mercury change signs this week. So, in the past month, essentially, and then there's other stuff I could describe, but all of these Scorpio placements. So we've had Mercury and Mars in Scorpio, and those are actually my natal placements. So I have Mercury and Mars in Scorpio, and it's been challenging to be me. And that's something I know that is relatable, even though it doesn't feel like it in the moment. I just going through like a huge death and a huge rebirth with my, because Scorpios is across from Taurus, which is my first house, my ascending, my rising, my appearance, my vitality. So I feel like I've been going through an identity change for a long time, but now it's like the culmination of like the internal purification of it. So like the rebirth is like really starting at the belief and mental level. Because I do believe that each transition is just preparing us for the next transit in a different house, in a different way, in a different, it's like always like, it's just preparing you for the next thing.
Yeah.
And so this month has been a lot of transition with job, which relates because Libra, it's been Libra season. There's been quite a few things in Libra, and that's in my sixth house of day-to-day work. So change of job, which is literal, um, and change of way of working day to day, as well as change of learning to shift my like thoughts and beliefs about myself and being in a different environment that feels more um like safe to be in for the kind of person that I am. And it just has changed like my perspective a lot and has been changing my perspective. And that also brings in the Pisces, the Neptune and Pisces are entering Pisces because it was in my 12th house of like subconscious and dreams, and probably why I had so much head stuff go on because Aries rules the head. And then it went back into Pisces, which rules the feet. And that's in my 11th house of like community, good fortune, and like work, could be workplace, could be money. And as much as like I said, I don't have Pisces, that house still like really gets hit. Like when I go through something with that or with community, like you've known, like even jobs, like
Yeah.
it's very weird and confusing. It's very confusing. It's very weird. I always have to get like an outside perspective. I need groundedness when it comes to my
Mm,
job. Like there's a lot of healing too, right? Like a lot of healing, but it could be like really uh sometimes feels unnecessary. It feels
mm,
like a lot. Like I have to really grow emotional maturity in that area of my life to allow for. I think what I've learned a lot with this placement and with Neptune there is like to accept what I don't understand, to accept the confusion as is, because sometimes shit's just weird. Like sometimes shit's just out here. We're just floating around, and that's what Pisces reminds us of. And it can just feel for someone who doesn't like who presents extremely spiritual and ethereal. I again don't have Pisces in my chart, so that feeling on a day to day doesn't come natural to me. Like it's not somewhere like
mm.
I completely exist, but it's also escapism. So I can escape in work, I can escape in community, I can escape in certain areas and like in a way abandon myself. So I've
Very
been learning
interesting.
in positive ways how to shift that, how to shift that narrative. Um So, and it all connects, and with Pluto going direct in my 10th house of role and public image and the kind of person I want to become, um, and like the role I play, Aquarius is it's a very mental sign. Like a lot of mine is very mental and in a way fixed. So the way I used to see myself, and you know this, is has been changing for so long, but it takes a lot of mental fortitude because with Aquarius, those fixed lines are harsh with any fixed sign. So we're in a Scorpio season, which is fixed. Leo is fixed. Taurus is fixed. So they can play amongst their parameter, but when they have to shift that, when it's time to shift that parameter, it can feel really harsh, even if it's not a earth sign. Like it depends on where it falls in your chart. So like switching the version of me, as much as I've been thinking I've been doing it, the reality of it is a little different. And what tiny baby? He's an Aquarius. Um, so I hope that makes sense without being too much in the astrology of like the feelings that I've been feeling have been really intense, and transformative, and it's just been working its way through my entire body because I was also sick too. So that always makes me feel more vulnerable and a little bit more
Mm,
insecure, and it was lasting way too long. So my whole being just needed a cleanse, and it got one like right as I was transitioning. It was like, oh, like, so surrendering to that is a constant practice because I don't realize how much I'm trying not, or I don't realize that my defense mechanism wants to control it, wants to not let go and change and be shaped and formed. So, like, yeah, and there's so much more I can even add to the astrology, but I don't want to be too overwhelming because there is so much more I could say. But I'm not going to. However, it's just been very, very transformative for me. And it's hit a lot of my Pluto. So Pluto is the transformation, and it's through intimacy, it's through my one-on-one relationships, it's through clients. It's ultimately what I'm going through is a really big rebirth where I am shedding. Like I've said this before, and I know what shedding feels like, but this one's like quite a big shedding. And that's why I think Neptune is really this last leg of Neptune retrograde before we really enter Neptune and Aries. There is a surrender that's involved with it. Like we have to surrender to what wasn't working in order to move forward and put the action in, because Aries is going to ask us to take action and our bodies need to be ready for it. And this is something we've been talking about and that you know about me, was that I've been pain for a long time and I'm finally not in the pain the way I was for the first time in half my life. So that is, although harsh, beneficial of this transition, because once Neptune goes into Aries, I'm grateful because I want to be able to build that muscle. Like Aries is super physical, super here, wants to build, wants to create, wants to start. And I want to be ready for that because it's hitting a part of my chart where it's like, I'm going to need good sleep. It's going to be, I don't know. Like, I also don't like to be like, maybe, it doesn't have to be that, but I just know because I've already had experiences through my 12th house in Aries and this past year. And sleep's going to be a really big priority for my health. And it has been, but it's just, yeah, I'm really looking to figure that out the most because it's really important. So, yeah, a lot of that, a lot of just confusion, but letting go of needing to know. It's been a
Mm,
theme, a constant theme, but this one is like just accepting and the uncertainty and just letting the healing be the direction. Also, that
yeah.
you don't need to be healed to help people. That was a big theme with my mentor recently. Because Pisces can do that so well.
Yeah. I've seen that live in action.
Same.
Yeah, I think like navigating life through the unknown and not feeling like you have to have a plan for, hi babe, not have a plan for any aspect of your life, whether that's like, your future plan of like family or like what my job is going to look like or whatever. It really comes down to kind of accepting your circumstances of where you are now and not putting so much pressure on what you think you should show up like, because I feel like because I have been going through very similar shedding, like you put it, where I'm feeling there's definitely like an overwhelming feeling of feelings and
Totally.
not dealing with them in the ways that I used to deal with them, which was not dealing with them at all. Or feeling like I'm dealing with them, but not dealing with them at all. And now I just have this awareness of how I actually have been walking through the world instead of trying to control and almost pretend like I'm this person who I actually am not, to protect myself from, I don't know, I'm sure all types of different for all types of different reasons, but it's really letting yourself be who you are, not judging yourself for who you actually are. And that takes such a long, like, I feel like I've been decoding myself for so long. And this is probably like the truest time where I'm feeling sadness and anger, and I'm feeling like other people's feelings and anxiety and all of these feelings and not clinging to them. And that feels weird. That feels unsafe sometimes.
Yes.
It feels very vulnerable. It feels like I'm losing control because the, you had said this earlier, like the illusion of control is so strong. Like you don't realize how much of an illusion you live through on a day-to-day basis to just try to survive.
I mean, that's why people have such strong feelings and like I don't know, I think it's a part of my path to like see people from all like not necessarily be close to people, but really see like people as people.
Yeah.
North Node and Sagittarius, and that's what Sagittarius teach me, but there's also other things with that. Um, but just knowing like the strength it takes and the strength and heart that takes too.
Mhm.
Um, to be able to, like you said, create a space where you don't have to take that on, internalize it to feel comfortable or to feel
Yeah.
like yourself. Like that's why it's so like safe to talk to you about those things. But it's like, I really do hope and pray one day we don't even have to do that. We're just like congratulating each other for like moving on from that because there's so many people that don't have that
Yeah.
feeling or that narrative because they didn't have to walk on eggshells around people or, not, and it's so deeply ingrained. It's so crazy when you find like as we find, and I find those little pieces like, and that's very Pluto, that's very Neptune, those are outer
Mhm.
planets, like the things that really are intricately detailed and woven. They're not so upfront like our sun and our, moon and our
Mhm.
rising. It's like it's so that's why like the cycle and the programming and the deconstructing and the reparenting takes the time it takes because with whatever you're going through so strongly is something that really is a part of your path to like shine a light on and whatever because that's the shadow, right? Whatever shadows, because this has been such a shadow season, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
shadow season may be the name of the episode. Like it's just such a shadow season where left and right people are just telling on themselves and it's okay. Like I'm not saying that like you have something to tell on yourself. It's like shame.
Yeah.
I'm not shaming you, but like also what you're describing was grief,
Mhm.
right? There's huge grief in this season and it's like I think I feel as though those of us who are willing to like go through the process as you are creating in some future version because I feel like that's the first thing that hit me when I showed up to work with you is like there's a lot of death being talked about, there's a lot of this and that happens like in every area and that's very much that's definitely a part of my path. We talked about it like the mediumship and everything.
Yeah.
And in a way it makes me feel like I'm here to help people learn to grieve differently and how will I do that if I can't figure or learn on my own? And I feel like those of us who are brave enough to go through that as we are, that's what maybe ultimately is what we're here, a part of what we're here to help people process because it's such a abstract thing. And no, I don't know if anyone's got it right. Maybe they did. Maybe like certain cultures, I'm sure, have all these in-depth rich, and I know they do. They have in-depth rituals and traditions and honoring. And it's like it'd be really nice to like learn what that means and like have that be like I don't know rituals and initiations and actually have be like a practice or something that's optional or if that makes sense.
You
Like
mean
ceremony, sorry, like have
yeah, you
ceremony.
mean like a service that you'd be able to give to people, a ritual, a
Well, there definitely are like people I've heard of this when a friend has done this is like done like a grieving like work it's I don't want to say workshop but like like type of thing like where you come to do that together and I feel like that might become more like prominent in
that's
our
interesting,
lives
kind of like a
perhaps.
yeah, we'll call it a circle of grieving.
Yeah.
Bring all your griefs here and we'll help you process.
Yeah.
It's also just nice. It's just like support. I think the theme that we've talked about so much is having support and what that looks like in all its different forms and um how badly all of us need it, I
Neptune and
think. I think
Aquarius are both the
every
feet and the calves.
you said in the calves?
Yeah, Aquarius is the calves and Neptune and Pisces are the feet.
Mm,
Support. And back is a lot about back issues have a lot about support, which
yeah.
you obviously deal with nonstop.
Yeah, I think that The top 3 biggest complaints on people are their back, their neck and shoulders, and their hips.
And how often would you say that that's actually like the stem of the problem? The root.
I would say that the root is probably
How often is
maybe
it the
1 out
back?
of 10 times or maybe 1 out of 100 times.
It's not
That's like a big
necessarily
jump,
the
but
back. Yeah.
it usually stems from emotions, 1. There's a big emotional hurdle that is hard to it can be hard to get to when you're in a society that's so specialized, which I'm luckily I'm in a nurturing environment that encourages um unique styles and approaches to healing. So eventually I would like to incorporate as much of the emotional aspect of massage that there is and incorporating it in the sense of just acknowledging it more. Because I don't think people realize how much there's so much separation, especially and I think it's coming together. It has been working on coming together, but there's so much separation when it comes to healing the body and the mind. And we talked about this a little yesterday about
Yeah.
how your head is connected to the rest of your head is your body. Like it's your brain is your body, and you cannot separate your brain from your body. It's influencing your muscles just as much as your muscles are influencing your skeleton, and your skeleton is influencing your nervous system and vice versa and all of the above. And being able to share that with my clients, or family or friends or whatever, and being confident in now understanding it for myself so much because I had to experience it for myself. Um, so that just brings a deeper understanding when you have the experience backing it and not just reading it from a book or from somebody else's experience. So integrating that into my life has been very helpful in the healing of others and the helping of others. And it really is because I've bringing it back to support. It's like I've had the support to be able to have the space to heal slowly for myself. And that's just if I could tell everybody to do that. It's
You've also given yourself
it's
permission,
it's
though.
just so hard. So many people are so busy, so busy, so busy. And I'm hoping that there will be a slowdown, especially with the what I call the dark season. Gets dark and gets cold and where at least I'm at. And I like that I live in Connecticut so that I can not only have the mental reminder, but the physical reminder shows up every day of how to almost go go inward and not be so consumed with the external right now. Um yeah, I just needed the support from like all angles, from my job, from my friends, from my family, to be able to like support myself mentally. It's I just needed so much space during these couple of years, and I'm happy that I'm getting to a place where like feeling messy is starting to become okay, and I don't judge it as much as I used to.
Yeah. That's like a understatement. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I'm also glad you chose that too. I think that you, I feel like once in a while you say that, but like you did choose that for yourself. And that is even more important. It's not something that you were like, maybe like the issues that you've had kind of enforced it, but like you actually like said, I need this.
Yeah.
And you're one of the first people that I actually could you're one of the first people that like I saw that with, and like you were like you needed it and you did it for yourself. It wasn't like I need this for myself and like it's something that you constantly say and then don't do
Yeah.
when you know you need it. And it's a lot of self-discipline to be there when you have, when you can, when there's just so much around. There's so much around you. There's so much like like so much to be interacted with. And I feel like a lot of the things you said are important. Like when if you don't accept yourself, you can't change, because that's like a rule even in sobriety, is like you can't change until you accept what's happening fully in order to actually change. Like you have to notice it first, and then you can actually go about doing it in whatever way you're meant to do it in, or you choose to do it in. And I think that's a part of learning to support yourself. So naturally, like you then would need, it's like you were building upon something. Like you naturally
Mm,
needed everything else to support you as well. And you created that environment with yourself to attract that same outcome. And I think it's really important to be reminded of that, because I think sometimes in our society and as we see it, even, and because I feel this way, and I think that you're so good at it, and it's something that you've learned to self-discipline, and you're someone who constantly reminds me, because I could be fine, and then my mind can go crazy, and then I could be fine, and then, and like that integration, like you're talking about, like that integration of doing it. Some people will talk about it forever and never choose it, and then something happens that enforces them, and they still don't get it, right? It's still like not enough. And you have to say like no. You have to say like you have to like, yeah. It's like it really is reparenting yourself and being like disciplined with that version of yourself that knows you need it, and that's what you need, and that's what love looks like, or that's what foundations look like right now. And I think it's such a power move. I do. And in a way that's not like power dynamics. I mean power move of like self fucking love, like
strength,
and strength. It's like it's so Leo of you. It's
courage.
like that healthy Leo, sincerely. And all the Venus and all the Leo stuff that's been happening the few years. It's a lesson. It's like such a powerful thing, especially when especially a few signs show up and like really change the game on that, and it affects everyone around you. Whether you like it or not, the energy then spirals outward because the sun is the back, and
Oh,
sun
interesting.
rules Leo. And that's the only that the back is huge, and it has layers because there's so much to break down within that metaphysically, because like it has three layers, and then we have the spine. So the back is only ruled by the sun. It's the one ruler. And the sun rules Leo, and Leo rules the heart.
Mm,
How much could you even take from that for you?
yeah.
We've been talking about the heart like from the beginning of the conversation, and it's the heart opening, and the heart needs the back to be supported,
Mm,
to open properly, to stay open. Like sometimes I think about it, but when we have these conversations, it clicks. Like when I can
yeah.
bring it in, it like really does click of like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you and like for recognizing those things in me because I don't always see myself as disciplined and don't always see myself as making the right choices.
I
But
think you can be disciplined. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be that's your whole personality.
yeah, but I think there's so many things that I naturally just gravitate towards, so it seems weird that people wouldn't just like putting yourself first. Like genuinely taking care of yourself because I don't want to be in pain and suffering all the time. And Yeah, I don't know a world like I've been working on myself, quote unquote working on myself just for my entire life. So it's like so natural and like sometimes Alex tells me he'll be like, "Yeah, he's like that's not like it's not always normal for people." And I'm like, "Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any other way to be."
Yeah. It's really helpful. I need like I have a lot of people in my life like that now, and I've needed it for so long because it does not come natural to me.
I think it was from my mom just always well, I think when I was young, I was definitely someone who would just try to call things out when I didn't see um fairness, I guess. So when I think I've always just kind of been a of this a seer of what I feel like is the obvious.
Hmm.
But my mom would always tell me like she was very encouraging also. She would always tell me that I can do anything and I can be anything and I should do everything and anything. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes that support way back when I was little, even though so much around me was chaotic and from her, from my dad, from my brother, from my whole family, just at least I had those like words that were kind of ingrained in me because I'm a person that like, I just don't ever want to give up. I just want to keep going even if my brain tells me like I know there's like a mechanism in me that I'm like, "Oh, like yeah, but like I'll get through this and I'll get over it and I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out." And that's always um I'm really lucky. I'm really lucky that I have that because I know people do give up and like even that thought makes me so emotional because I care so deeply, not only for myself, and I think it's because I care so deeply for myself that like that extends to others, to my friends and my family and strangers. Too much on strangers in my past, but um yeah, I one thing I am happy that I like deprogrammed in myself is like wanting to like save the world. 'Cause that's not an easy task and I don't think it's possible. So I used to stress a lot about being a savior to people because I was the one around me that was like changing and trying to figure out and like trying to be better and then realizing that there's not really a better, it's just being more me and um yeah, honestly, 20s is a whole blur, I think. 20s was like really painful and now that I'm in my 30s, I'm just like so happy I made it here. I'm so happy I made it
No,
here.
literally, yeah. No, it's so true. A lot of what you described is Leo too.
Yeah,
Yeah, you like described it to a T, like
love
really
that.
well. Yeah.
Well, I feel that. I feel
Yeah.
very Leo a
Mhm.
lot of the time.
Well, it's like it is the strength card too in tarot, one of
Oh,
its cards.
interesting.
Yeah, it's actually what you described as a combo with like hints of Gemini, and that's very real. Yeah. I was kind of looking at your
And
chart
Gemini
and
is my
like,
moon.
yeah. No, that's what I was saying, like everything you're
Yeah.
saying. And like Gemini falls in your house of good fortune for the most part. Then you have Cancer there too.
House of Good Fortune.
Yeah, and community.
I always wondered, like, when we're talking about charts and stuff, I'm like, who came up with, like, the pot? Like, who came up with what is what?
The ancients.
The ancients, like, who
The
are these
ancients,
bros?
baby. Yeah. They just smart as fuck.
It's like, what if one of the ancients like wasn't having a good day and he's like, we're just gonna throw this in here. Like, we're just gonna throw people off to be funny. No one
I
will
mean, I
ever
think
know.
it's hilarious.
Yeah. No one will
Yeah.
ever know.
I think it's hilarious for me. It's like such a, I don't know. But yeah, everything you're describing, not everybody does have like the will or the strength. Some people it's will, some people it's strength, maybe a combination of it all. To want to grow. And I do believe like sometimes that's why our souls enter or we choose, depending on your belief system, the spaces, the families, the people, the life, the journey that we're on. And whenever I'm unsure of that, I get reminded of why it feels real to me. And astrology just kind of gives language to it for me. It gives language to it, and it's so crazy how like perfect it is. It's not I can't even I don't know, it's just so perfect. At least the way I think about it personally. Um but yeah, there's something to be said about strength and what it takes to build strength in yourself, and it's just so true. It's like you can't have a foundation without giving yourself energy first. And I do know that really well because neglect is probably one of my biggest wounds. So, um learning to like really love yourself from when in a place of such emptiness, low self-worth, low self-esteem, not even knowing like all of that is it's a painful transformation in many layers, like of just seeing like how I feel like I am as opposed to when I actually see someone who's like that, and like how much I
Mm.
crave that. And yet it takes those steps and it takes the painful, like a lot of it is painful because I've never experienced it. So physically that's where the pain comes. I'm not saying it's like painful, like, um, it's always emotional. It's actually sometimes physical. It's like, what am I experiencing right now? Like, why do I feel this way? And the integration is really important because it's about digesting the experience, like actually letting myself digest the experience and digest the reality of it and not want to run because it feels so uncomfortable for it to be better.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
just yeah, and it's how long I went avoiding that showed up this month in the past few
Mm.
months for sure. So yeah, like I have the strength and I had the strength for other people. I was that person, but unlike you, I didn't have that for myself. I thought I did, and I did at times, and I think it showed up when it showed up. It was healthier at times, and then it wasn't, but it was really just deep mixed in there with all the stuff. And I just feel grateful that I've finally attracted people in my life like I was who represented who represent like that opportunity, like to get to see like, oh, that's what it looks like, and it'll get better, like it feels better, it changes. I just have to go through like the relationship change, the change with myself, the boundary, what comes back. Like I don't even know what boundaries come with that yet. It's like you have to wait and see and learn to understand like, oh, actually, I am a person who only craves like deep, intimate relationships, and I don't want to be friends with everyone. I could be friendly and like acquaintance like with people, but I don't need to know the details about this one and this one and this one just because I am curious. It's like I
Yeah.
actually can't do that. And I thought it was like a natural thing. And now I realize it's actually a special protective thing that only has a time, space, certain amount of people. And I think, and this is funny because it's bringing me back to community because that's 11th house as well that we've been talking about on and off. Mine's Pisces, yours is Gemini, split with Cancer. And that's the closeness. Like develop like create like attracting a community who creates closeness but also like intimacy in a way of vibing with each other, like being able to understand their own boundaries, hopefully, and yet also being able to be surrounded by that energy and knowing that like manifesting our future at like things that we do where people connect and vibe, but like maybe they meet one person they really like, or like a few people they really like, or a few people we really like, you know what I mean? And just like allowing this foundation to grow those foundations where it can be more, where I have the strength to actually do that and am capable of that, and being in an environment where I get to see that is possible, and like I won't be like this forever, but I also need this part of me very much. So yeah, I just think it's really amazing. It's just an
Yeah.
amazing transformation to go through, but also to see people who where it comes natural to be like in awe of it, because it's so, I'm in awe of it. Like I appreciate it so much because it should feel like that. Like that's the way it should feel. And it should like, yeah, it doesn't have to be like weird forever. And it makes me very emotional because I've talked about it a lot, but it's so important for me to see people put themselves first, to see people like actively put boundaries in place, to not like just go around the corner and like talk shit. It's like actually like really happening in real time and people are respectful and like this and that. It's just such a blessing. Like for
Yeah.
people like me, like such a fucking blessing um to see respect in action.
Yeah, it's like a discovery of like what stability is within people and what security looks like, because there's definitely been scarcity, just I think in both our lives, just very much present. And
And like
it
attacking.
it wreaks havoc. Yeah, it wreaks havoc. Like people actually coming from a scarce place as well, and like manifesting in other ways, but projecting those things onto you and having to navigate that. And now being in a safe environment where everybody's like worried about themselves. Like everybody's just trying to pay attention to themselves as they should.
And in a way that's not weird. It's like
Yes.
we're just here to like do what we need to do, and yeah.
Yeah, it's not like they're, because I think something that I used to do when I was trying to find my security in myself is like, all right, and I think this is okay when you're trying to discover the levels of what's appropriate for you specifically. Like everybody has certain gauges that they can tolerate, or certain places where they feel comfortable. Like some people are so comfortable just getting in the nitty-gritty with every single person because they have the capacity for that, and that's so beautiful
They
and
might
wonderful.
even be meant for it too.
Be
Like
meant
that's their
for it,
fucking
right? Like
shit. Yeah, and like all the power to you.
yes, and I used to have, jealousy for people that were very, very extroverted because and I don't even think that I'm not. I think I'm like in the middle, which feels really nice for
Yeah,
me.
we're ambiverts. Ambivert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm like, how can these people do it? I get so drained after a while, and I'm like,
Because you
there's
recharge
just certain
alone.
realities. I'm like, well, I'm living in reality. Like, there's certain realities that you just have to just be like, coulda, woulda, shoulda, can't, won't.
Well, that's also like the deeper acceptance for you and how you work. And if you follow that, you'll only feel better. You'll only be able to do more and be able to do more of what you actually want to do and where your energy is actually necessary. Because something that I love about Kabbalah and human design, because human design takes parts of Kabbalah, is that, and we could talk about it in astrology, but those systems point it out where, excuse me, where it's like overgiving. And I even told you how proud I was about yesterday, like overgiving. Another part of overgiving is overstaying your welcome. Like there is a
Mm.
point where you should go, but you don't. and I've done that plenty of times because I'm afraid of missing out even on whatever, even if there's nothing to really
Even
miss
the
out
lame
on. My
shit.
brain, my brain just like, it's normal, it's normal, it's normal. It's I should want, because like some people, because like living in other people's realities and other people's psyches, which we talk about constantly in jobs and what we do in our upbringing and our jobs, we're working with what we're working with, and it's like learning to let go because that was such a big part of your whole life. Like that actually was so long that you like, it's this constantly like you have to choose, you have to choose, you have to, it's like it is a decision. It's
Yeah.
like it's like we can work amongst people who do that, but they each have their other individual choices that they have to make, like to slow down. Like I used to be jealous of extroverts too. I used to like run around like I was an extrovert
Oh, same.
and yet be so alone at the same time,
I
weirdly
was
enough.
cosplaying.
Yeah, cosplaying, functional freeze, cosplaying as like someone who's got their shit together, cosplaying as like boom, boom, boom. No, no. Lots of cosplay out here. And the more I accepted, like these systems tell us, Kabbalah and human design, the more you accept, like you're just not meant to be there. Those people will probably have more fun time. It's just like firing someone or hiring someone or breaking up with someone. Those are really heavy things, of course, and they have weight to them. However, sometimes the biggest charge is the fact that we can't admit like when things need to be let go of, and actually knowing that that's going to be healthier for each person and that's going to be better for each person. And when do you know that? I don't know. You'll know when you know, and some people are better at it than others. But learning that was also really helpful because I feel like I've seen that in a way, but like actually having like words and substance to that is so helpful because I'm someone who is meant to move on at times from things that don't light me up anymore. So for me, I need that. I need that to be like, I need to be able to know my energy separate from someone else's because I pick up on shit so much, especially if I'm vulnerable or sick or PMSing or whatever I'm not doing for myself or sick or whatever the fuck. Transitions. Geez, transitions make me want to overgive like nobody's fucking business, even though I don't have the energy to do it. I'm like, what is happening with me? um, but like noticing it, realizing it, like even with you, or like feeling like I just want that connection with you all the time, even though it's like it's okay. We don't, I go through a lot, and like being able to come back to the like solidity of like it's okay, like you don't have to over explain, over give, whatever it is, like you can, even though you're excited, you can pull back.
Yeah,
Because
knowing that the people around you are gonna accept that.
yeah, because then it won't project weird or leak, or it will show up in the ways that I actually can like utilize it for positive. But I mean, that's an art, right? It takes time, whatever, but
It's a
it's really
practice.
cool to notice. It's really cool to notice. And like the energy it gives me, I don't know about you, but like the way it just gives me energy is crazy. It's like, oh, that decision was right. Like,
Yeah.
or yeah, the best decision for now.
Yeah, and the energy levels that you have will, like, on a day-to-day basis, like, shows you how many good decisions you've made, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I can always tell, and sometimes it is other people, and, like, maybe I just absorbed something from somebody else that, but there's also, like, decisions with that. It's like, emotionally giving, like, sometimes you're not even aware that you're, like, seeping out this vibration that is then attracting something to you, and, like, you welcoming it can be draining it within itself, and, trying to be there for other people and support them and it's like, you know, like you said, the awareness of that, it's so freeing because now I'm like, "Oh, now I know, like, the stop." Like, now I know, like, what's too much. Now I know what is overgiving, where before, I was like, I didn't realize going against those alarms were going against those alarms. Like, I just thought, I'm like, "Oh, I'm pushing through. I don't wanna be like this, so I'm just gonna try harder to be like this." And it's like, you
The
realize that
ego.
going in the opposite direction of what you think is not appropriate is not always the answer. Like,
No, yeah. And a lot of systems is opposite is the medicine. Like we find that in Ayurveda. It's one of the manifestation thing tools that I love is like sometimes it's like it's like when we've talked about this a lot too, is like over consuming until you get sick of it is like
Yes.
that. That's kind of what it is. It's like you get, I've realized I'm getting sick of these parts of myself that like
Yes.
overthink, and it's like only towards a certain person or a certain vibration. I'm like, what is here? Because if I accept, this is something cool too. I wanted to say that came to mind because acceptance isn't just like for your change, it also changes your past and it changes
Mm.
energy. Like it could change people. It's so crazy the power we have with our just our energy in general to me is just beyond. Just by like really shifting and allowing and accepting like big steps, like just like grief coming in and out of our lives at different times, but each time is such like an energy shift and in relationships, and it's just so cool.
Well, that's what like ring true. Like what I always come back to is, and the reason why I'm always like trying to make good choices, better choices, whatever, like things that I feel will actually be good for me.
Mm.
Um, is that I truly know that the energy that I'm in, the way that I look at the world, the that true acceptance of what is and how I want to see the
Mhm.
world is what actually changes my life around me.
Mhm.
And that's why I think I don't remember if we spoke about this in the last podcast, but like I remember talking about like, sometimes when you're writing, like when you're trying to like specifically manifest something, and there are a lot of things about like write down your manifestation, like it's not so much just writing it down and putting it away and hoping that it comes true. It's like the reason why journaling or putting those thoughts down repeatedly works is because you're just exposing your brain to like the continuation of like positive thinking. And that like that positive thinking then translates into feeling, and then that feeling transmutes your reality.
Especially when you're feeling thing and you're like like opening your mind to a positivity in a place where you're not used to feeling, that's where you'll come up against the negative where that needs to be
Resistance.
where it needs to be absolved,
Yeah. Like
right?
coming face to face to the truths,
Yeah.
and being okay. And not meaning being okay that you're not gonna cry and scream and roll on the floor, like, just
Yeah.
being okay, being like, this is the way through. I
Yeah,
can't get
that's
around this.
yeah, you like yeah, it's like the disgust, like all the negative emotions, like feeling disgusting, feeling greasy,
Jealous.
feeling dirty, all the stuff, like feeling
Lusty.
ugh. Yeah, like the change of season, like, oh, my hair oils get like I know I'm born in Libra season, but my hair
Lusty,
oils get
dusty.
fucked up. Like I need to conquer this shit. I need to conquer. I need
How I
to
feel about
figure
my
out what
skin.
works for my hair and my skin during these times so I'm not like agitating out of my skin, but it could just be a whole cellular turnover, right? Like I don't know, maybe next year will feel different, but I just yeah, the transition and what acceptance brings and what each thing brings with it is just it's such a medicine, and I've been writing about how words are medicine for so long. Like when you really sit with some words, because as someone who's been in the yoga environment for a long time, there's a lot of words thrown around when you
Mm.
don't want to like actually talk, but they're not like talked enough about.
Mhm.
Like compassion is mistaken for empathy or sympathy sometimes, or even control, and like it's
Mm.
mistaken. It's okay. It's like they're everyone, including my own. Sorry, Cease is like definitely having a crazy dream right now.
Mhm.
Um, like compassion is such strength to have for yourself because it's like I think every day being able to move through every day when you're doing your best to become yourself and go if you're going through a rebirth or a transformation, I think you actively have to have compassion for yourself. It's like
Yeah.
the words, like what we're saying, like how we think about ourselves and how that transmutes to your emotions. Like we have to have compassion for ourselves because there are things that click a lot quicker than others, and that's just the unique soul process, I feel. And
Yeah.
that's and honestly, saying it that way really grounds me. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is like a soulful process that I will not exceed. I can't transcend from. Like, this is just what's happening. And sometimes seeing it like that is really helpful to
And we
me.
have limitations. Like,
Yes.
there are limitations.
In some areas, yeah, for
In
sure.
some areas there are, and I just think like that's okay. You can't be everything that you think you want to be immediately right now. It's
Unless your nervous system is prepared.
yeah. Even then though, I just feel and maybe this is like this could be negative speak also like I don't even and this is another thing I don't know, but it's just like sometimes I'm like the people who feel like they're the most successful and the most, in whatever ways that they are successful in, like, you know, we look at people from the outside and it's like they're going through all the same shit as quote unquote normal people. Like that they're everyone's normal. Like we put people in these like boxes of like, if you're famous or you're this, you're like conquering that. It's like we're all pretty normal and we all go through the same shit and even the strongest of the strongest of the strongest of the most intelligent like they're gonna weep maybe when their grandma dies like
They're gonna have
a mental breakdown.
I was gonna say that. I was like, what is the right word? They're gonna have mental breakdowns. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like there is no, we talked about it's like the enlightenment is something. Sherry is who is a client and a friend of mine. um we were talking mid-session and she's like, the future is now. And I'm like I'm like, I don't know what movie you got that from, but yes. I know that's from a movie, but I'm like, the future is now. Everything now makes up your future. Like that's it. There is
And
no there is no out there. Like it's just now.
and that's why like that even brings me to like the conversation about psychic and being
Mm.
psychic. It's like, yeah, there's certain things that are more set in stone, but there's still a couple options because set in stone in certain ways in the future, materially and everything, they come from just small decisions. So yeah, if certain things are decided, then it can go this way. But that's why there's always a couple options. That's like even talking about dimensions or who we're becoming, right? There
Yeah.
are options to who we get to become. Like when people I've gone to an astrologer and be like, so like I want to know what I need to do with my life. And she's like, well, you can do so much. I'm like, I'm here to like you to tell me what I'm supposed to do. There's too many options. I can't decide. This is hard. I'm told I have to make my own thing and I don't know how to do that enough because I don't know myself enough, yada, yada, yada.
Mhm.
And I'm looking for someone to tell me what to do, right? Like, what is the thing? And it's like so relates to the psyche in that way because like every small decision decides your future. That's why like when you come to someone or you've seen movies where it's like you think this is going to happen, then it's like no, it's actually this shift and this change and then it brings you and leads you to a different area of life. So you can either go with it or go against it, but either way you're going to get there. It's just going to look different when you're
Yeah,
done.
and if you go
Yeah.
against it, it's like it's just gonna show up in a different it's just gonna show up in a different spot in a different way. You're going down a path regardless.
Yeah.
Like,
You can't fall off the path unless
yeah.
you know. But
That's why I love The Alchemist and I keep talking about it, even though it's just such a simple book. I just always come back to it because like reading it was I'm like it's so simple. There's so much depth within it, right? That like all these challenges get brought up, but like it really is so simple if you just allow life to unfold and not I don't know, not become a victim of your circumstances.
I think that's what we're trying to ascend from because I think we're fed that we're a victim a lot.
Yes.
And I think that's why it's like, okay, it's great that you know you have ADHD, but like, what are you going to do about it? Like, it's great that you can identify that helps, that relieves something to know that you're like, you're not just like seeing things, but also like I may be a Libra, but like I'm not gonna like say, oh, I do that because I'm a Libra. I'm like, no, like
Yeah.
there's this, you can't like, what's that called? You can't like sublimate that. You can't just like, or make that your identity if you know it's hurting you and you still
Mhm.
do it. It's just your excuse, and it's just an excuse, right? There are times where it's excuses, there are times where it's not, but like, I just think it's just so important to give yourself permission to be open to that, because what you're saying has been my biggest, one of my big, and you probably heard me say this, my biggest struggle 1,000
I
times,
know, right?
but
Me too,
like,
though.
like
This
my
woman.
brother, but you're just so funny because you're just like my brother Capricorn who loves Alchemist as well. And I've read that a few times, and I think my brain is almost like it's too simple, right? Like my brain just wants
Same.
to create, and it's not. I'm so like escaping was definitely like imagination escaping in my mind, and my imagination and romanticizing and certain things was definitely like a version of avoidance and like coping when I was younger. And I've had such a struggle in most recent years for quite a while with just, or maybe forever even, of just like letting life flow. Um and letting myself, and like, cuz what you said describes like my whole, especially the past year of my life. And it's a process. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not just, it brings up shit in my body. It brings up lack of control. It makes me want, it makes me stress. Like there's like moving through the stress and the detoxing of, if you want what you want, you can't have that. You can't have what you've been doing. And it's not easy to come to. It's like really the Aquarius card where you have to come down to your knees. You have to come, and that's where Pluto is working through my authentic for who I am and who I'm becoming. And it's like you have to really come to your knees and be like, okay, I don't know. And every
I don't
day
have
for
the
like,
answers.
for real, every day for a month, I was like, I really feel crazy. Like I feel so uncertain. I feel out of control. The only thing that makes me happy is dressing myself every morning. And I just feel crazy otherwise. So I'm just gonna go about my day, do the tasks I need to do, and that's as good as it's like, that's as good as I feel at the moment.
Yes, and last night, because I was not feeling the best last night, and I had options. I have options of distraction and all this, and I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna surrender, and I'm just gonna get into child's pose and literally surrender on the floor and talk to God and be like, God, oh, I'm like, I know I can't figure this all out for this second, but just guide me to what I need." I give it up into God's hands, and I know people I'm not I think I'm not into religion, I'm into God. Personally, I don't go by a storybook, but I sometimes I question, I think skepticism is good, and I'm like, am I talking to myself? Or I'm like, I actually, but then I see what I need to see transmute in my life, and I think life just feels better when I feel like someone's the rules of nature, something, someone, there's a plan. And whether that's delusion or not, I don't care because I just feel like it always soothes me. Like when I could just give it to something else, when I can just be like, you know what? I'm feeling this. I'm just gonna let go. Oh my God, she's so cute. I'm just gonna let go and know that it'll all work out somehow. All these crazy feelings will pass and I'll come out the other side some somehow, whether it's good or bad. I'm not even gonna say that it's gonna be good. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna come out the other side.
Yeah,
Changed. It's just changed, I
you're
feel.
change. You're
Whatever the
more your,
change is, I'm gonna be changed.
Well, would you say it's more like you're just becoming more yourself, like whoever it is that you're,
But that's a change from,
yeah, like,
you
but
know?
that's like the thing that's happening is like my soul, whoever I am meant to become is I'm surrendering more. And when you,
Yeah, I think I'm becoming my childhood self. Like, I
and
think
that's like,
I'm just reverting back into a kid who
because
didn't have
that's where,
all of these opinions and rules and structure forced onto me. Like, when you were talking, I was thinking about school and how it's like, well, of course we're trying to seek somebody to be like, "Just give me the answers," because when you're in school, you're taught, "We give you what to learn, you give us the answers to those, and that is concrete. Those are the answers, those are the things that we want you to know." Like, it's critical thinking is usually not taught until you get to, like, maybe into later on in high school and then in college, and they're like, "Yeah, you should be critically thinking." And I'm like, "Well, you guys have just been telling me everything what to do, and then you just like, here's college, like, figure out what you wanna do with yourself after we just gave you all these fucking fundamentals, I guess."
well, I also want to, if I'm going to riff off that,
Yeah, go.
um, is just
Also
like they
ranting.
make us think that they have the answers too because there are
Yeah,
answers to grading and all that stuff. So there's one. But then the other thing I want to say before we wrap it up, because we are at an hour 30, but
yeah,
minus the 10, but is becoming yourself, like the school of life, because that's what I always say that I'm a part of and when I joke with people. But yeah, I actually lost it for a second. But like hmm, the like becoming myself and the shedding against the control. Oh God. Okay. So talking to God and you feel like you're talking to yourself, but like talking to God is, I think when we talk to, like when we have this idea, it's been constructed for us and there's many ways I've interpreted God and I've heard these things in spirituality because I'm so and like I'm just I love I'm obsessed and just like learning and I think everything's spiritual. But like when you do talk to yourself or you talk to God, you're I feel like you're activating that consciousness, you're activating that energy or whatever you're activating and that energy and you're inviting it in, you're asking for it. And that's the only way it can truly
mm,
enter like there's sayings like I tell people to talk to their angels because I've also been told you must talk to them and ask them for help because they cannot always interfere. That's not always what they're here to do. They're here to just like accept you and
mm,
like be there for your process if you believe in those energies and beings. And if we that's why it's like learning to be more like them. It's like we can't become these like eternal well, some of us are incarnated and I see that for myself in ways, but it's accepting that you're human and having that ultimate is like that transformation and trusting and connecting to the energy and using our voices, which we've been taught not to, right, for so long, using our voices, being here, being able to do this and be so open with what we believe in into the change of that even and being there for each other in that process can be very difficult for some people. It can be very difficult to do in this lifetime. However, when we talk to God or whoever your spirit is or whatever your energy is, you're activating that energy and you're activating source. You're activating whatever that energy can become. And if you and what you were saying reminded me of purity. Like there's a pureness that
yeah,
we come into this world with. Some people don't believe that, and that's okay. But I still think there is, even if our soul comes in with stuff, there's still a pureness to children. To, it's not their if a child does something really bad, I still don't I can look at the child and be like, damn, that's wild, but also like you're a child.
yeah,
And like I think like law and order and structure have created, well, when you're this age, you're supposed to be this, when you're this age. And I think we're
mm,
even breaking it down so much now. And I'm to say that like we are all children. If we are all children, like we're just aging physically. There are some people
yeah,
who stay the same, right? Are just like right? Like they stayed the way they were since they were whenever. And that's how people like reconnect with you and, whatever it is. And it's just so interesting to me because there's such a a pull for both in many ways. It's so contrasting. And I don't know, being safe to express whatever the child in you or whatever you want to call it and God and talk to these parts and play is such a we were talking about earlier, it's such a revolution, it's such a great change. That's why the inner child, the inner teenager, I love the inner teenager so much, even though it's like very emotional. It's what I connect to a lot of is like that's where like just feeling those dramatic feelings and
Yeah.
like letting them be real, but also like knowing that they don't have to control or consume and yeah.
Yeah, having a space for every part of you because I just feel like I think there's just certain parts that you have to embrace, even if they're not the best. Even if they're not,
Unconditional love.
yeah, unconditional love. That should be the next one.
Yeah, we're not gonna go
Yeah,
there just yet because that's a big one
yeah.
that has like healed the shit out of me.
Ugh,
If you have struggled, we'll talk about some stuff. I'll tell more about my eating disorder in the next one because that's where unconditional love really plays a big part.
that sounds good. Well, let's
Yeah.
wrap it up.
I started. Do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. Yeah,
Thanks for
sure.
being here,
Having me.
guys. If you made
Thanks for
it this
having me.
far, kudos to you in this sacred bubble where we are truly just showing not even our best selves, just ourselves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
um and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Please let us know if there are topics you would like to get into. Please let us know if you like what we're talking about or if
Join
this
in.
makes sense. Because sometimes I'm like, are we making sense? And then I listen
We
back and I'm like, sounds pretty good.
No, we do. We are. It's like if we get too lost in that, then we won't flow. And then even if it doesn't make sense, like
Yeah. But I
I
want to
listen
know.
to
I
people
want to
who
know
are
from the
well
people.
established, and sometimes I'm like, what's
Yeah,
happening
like
right
what is
now? Yeah,
where did we just go?
I know. Whatever.
But it's been a pleasure per usual. We love you all and I hope you guys stick around for the next one.
Yes, we'll see you then, or hear you, talk to you, whatever. We'll sense you then.
Smooth, soothe.
Yeah, that's me. I'm cute.
Bye.
Bye.